Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tamisha and you are watching A Mouthful. So today I am going to show you a recipe for some creamy, sovereign, indulgent macaroni and cheese. I'm going to show you how to make it from scratch, including showing you how to make a homemade Alfredo sauce, which we're going to use to coat our macaroni and cheese. It's going to be loaded with so much butter and cheese and all kind of creaminess. It's going to be so delicious, guys, and I cannot wait to show you how to make it. But before we get into the recipe, I want to just ask you guys really quick, take a time and go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. And if you want more videos in the future on cooking recipes and grocery hauls, hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell, and this is the place to be. So let's get right into the ingredients for this macaroni and cheese recipe. So I already have my water boiling. Just to let you know, you are going to need some boiling water. For our pasta, I have 16 ounces of elbow noodles. I also have 3 blocks of cheese. I have 2 sharp cheddar cheese as well as 1 Colby Jack cheese. I have some shredded Italian cheese. This has mozzarella provolone, parmesan, Asiago, Romana, and Fontina cheese as well. We're going to use that for Alfredo sauce, as well as some black pepper, some sea salt, a little bit of garlic, our heavy whipping cream, which is what we're going to use to make our Alfredo sauce, as well as some evaporated milk, and one of the stars of the show, we're going to have some Kerrygold pure Irish butter. I'm going to say you do not have to use actual butter, but if you want that extra indulgence, try some actual butter instead of the margarine for this recipe. Just splurge and indulge yourself a little bit. And I also have my casserole dish to bake our macaroni cheese in, and I have a grater which I'm going to grate all of my cheese up with. You do not have to use block cheese. I'm just choosing to use block cheese for this recipe. If you buy the pre-shredded cheese like this, it does have a anti-caking agent on the cheese, so it does not melt as easily. But if you shred your own cheese, then you'll get a more creaminess and an easy melt for your cheese. Okay, so let's get into showing you how to make our Alfredo. So I'm going to go ahead and get my Ronzoni elbow noodles into our boiling water. And I've already salted that water as well. We're going to let that boil for about 8 to 9 minutes, and we're going to get started on our Olive Garden inspired Alfredo sauce. So I have my pan already preheating. I'm going to take about 1/4 of this Kerrygold butter and get it into the pan. Start to get that melting. Yes, this is a lot of butter, but I told you this is nice and indulgent. And this is going to be for our Alfredo sauce, which we are going to need the butter for this. So I'm going to get this melted up, and I'm going to turn this up just a little bit more. And we're going to go ahead and add in some garlic as well. And to me, nothing smells better than garlic and butter and maybe some onions. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. All right, so we're going to let this melt. All right, so our butter melted with our garlic, and I went ahead and added in our pint of heavy whipping cream. So what I'm going to do now is add in our black pepper. And if you guys have watched any of my previous videos, you know I like a lot of black pepper, and so do my kids. So we're going to get a good amount of black pepper in here going. Get that whisked in, and this is at a nice boil. It's going to start to thicken up. So what we need to do now is add in our Italian cheese. Now, if you don't find the 6 Italian cheese blend in your grocery store, you can just buy just a bag of regular Parmesan if you want, or you can use the fresh Parmesan too if you want to do that as well. So I'm going to get about half of the bag in without making so much of a mess. Okay. And we're going to give that a nice stir and get this cheese nice and melted in here. And we're going to keep stirring this until the cheese is melted completely and our sauce is thickened up. Now, what you can do for this recipe is you do not have to make your own Alfredo sauce. This is actually, I'll tell you exactly how the Alfredo sauce came to be for a macaroni and cheese recipe. So last week I went to visit my oldest son in California, and I wanted to cook for him as well as the rest of his shipmates. There was about maybe 15 of his friends in the barracks, and they all wanted a home cooked meal, and they wanted a Southern meal. So what's, more Southern than macaroni and cheese, right? So I had a little bit to work with as far as ingredients and cooking in a barracks room and trying to feed 15 young men who are sailors. So I said, okay, to stretch my cheese, what I'll do is I'll get a jar of ready-made Alfredo sauce, and I'll put that in my macaroni mixture as well just to stretch it. And that was a hit. Probably the best thing I could have ever done to my macaroni and cheese, and they loved it. They ate it up so quickly. It was so good, and it was still had that thickness of a Southern macaroni and cheese, but it was so super creamy for the from the Alfredo sauce. So feel free to use 1 jar of Alfredo sauce if that's what you want to do, or you can do like this recipe that I'm using right now, and you can make your own Alfredo sauce, very reminiscent to Olive Garden's Alfredo sauce, and use it for your macaroni. So this is looking pretty good, guys. You see how thick this is? This is about the consistency that we want. And what you can also do, I know this sounds kind of weird, but believe it or not, nutmeg is really good for cheese sauces. You would only need just a small pinch of nutmeg. I don't have any today, so I'm not going to add any. This is just fine. But if you had some and you wanted to just kick it up just an extra notch, you could add in a pinch of nutmeg as well once you get to this consistency. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn this down, and we're going to work on draining our pasta, and I'll come back and show you how to complete this recipe. All right, so let's go ahead and start getting everything mixed together for our creamy macaroni and cheese. So I have our pasta drained, and I already added in our homemade Alfredo sauce. So what we're going to do is get all of our noodles coated. This smells so good. Coat all of our noodles. And I already shredded up my cheese, so I got a good little workout going, shredding those off camera. And I meant to mention to you guys that the cheese blocks were just 8 ounces. And here's our shredded cheese right here. It looks like a lot, but really it's just equivalent to 3 of these bags. When you shred them yourself and they're finely shredded, it just looks like a lot of cheese, but it is not a lot. So this is 3 blocks of cheese, 2 of the sharp cheddar, and 1 of our Colby Jack. So we're going to get all of this mixed in. And I'm going to reserve about maybe half of this. And my hands are clean, guys. I just washed them before we turned the camera back on. We're going to reserve this for the top. And you talk about comfort food to the max. This is comfort food all day long. It's going to be so good. And this makes a really good sized pan. Believe it or not, when I cooked this for my son and his shipmates, there were no leftovers. This was the first thing to go. All right. All right, so we're going to take 1 can of evaporated milk. This is 12 fluid ounces. We're going to add that in. Get this combined as well. Okay. And then what we're also going to do, actually let me combine that first to get that incorporated before we add the rest in. Okay, so I'm going to add in some more crushed black pepper. Just a little bit more. And what I have also is I have the remainder of my butter is melted. So I'm going to pour that in there, and you can see this is real butter. You see the brown bits in there. So we're going to get this mixed together as well. I told y'all this was indulgent. So this will be, if you're trying to watch your figure, trying to watch your calorie intake, this is not the meal for you. But if you're looking for a comfort meal cheat day, this is it. All right, and so I haven't added any salt yet just because I'm using salted butter and as well as the salt from the cheese. But what you want to do at this point is you want to taste it and make sure that it's seasoned the way that you want to. So I'm just going to give it a quick taste real quick and see if I need anything else. Guys, that is so good. I'm going to add a small amount of salt, just a little bit. And just a little bit more pepper. Oh, that is so cheesy. All right, and so the last step that you want to do is you want to add in 2 beaten eggs, and what the eggs are going to do is bind it all together. So the reason I'm saying add your, taste it first and see if you need to adjust your seasoning, and then add your egg last, after you've tasted it. You don't want to taste the raw eggs, so. All right, so we're gonna pour our eggs in. Give it a nice mix, and then we're going to add this in to our already sprayed casserole dish. All right, so we have our oven preheated to 375, and all of our macaroni is in our pre-sprayed casserole dish. So what we're going to do now is we're going to top it off with the rest of our shredded cheese and just get it covered. This cheese is going to be nice and bubbly. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bake this, but I'm going to bake it covered for the first half, and then I'm going to take the foil off towards the end just so that it can brown nice. And that's because we want our macaroni to actually bind together and thicken up with the the eggs and the evaporated milk. But I don't want my cheese to cook too quickly and burn. So that's why we're going to cover it up to begin with. And then halfway through the cooking process, we're going to go ahead and take off our foil. And I'm going to wash my hands and get this covered with foil and get it in our oven. And then once we're done, I will plate it up for you guys. All right, guys, look at that. It's still bubbling and hot. I just took it out the oven. You can see all that cheese is nice and brown. The edges are crispy, just the way I like it. So I had it in the oven on 375 for about 45 minutes total. And I took the foil off halfway through to let it brown. And so what we're going to do is let this cool for about 10, 15, probably 20 minutes because it's super hot. And then I'm going to cut into it and give it a taste test for you guys. All right, so I am going in for a taste test. Look how good that looks inside. Look at all that cheese, guys. Do you see all that cheese? Oh my goodness. All right, so let's give it a taste. Clean up my mess. Look at that. All right, first let me just show you. Let me show you that bite. Look at that bite. All right, so let's try it out. That's good, guys. That is good. It's so creamy from the Alfredo sauce, but it is really, really rich from all of the butter and all of the cheese and everything, and then the evaporated milk. It's just really good. This is a perfect addition to any of your meals. Put it on your table if you need a comfort meal, if you just need something that's just really rich and tasty. Give this macaroni and cheese a try. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell on the bottom, share it with your friends, and also comment down below. I love to interact with you guys in the comment section. So thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.